Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name's Josh Nelson, and this week I'm back with another video. Today's topic is going to be Mötley Crüe's Take Me to the Top. Now again, just like last week, before we got started, we're going to have to tune our guitars to non-standard tuning. Now this time it's not going to be in drop D tuning, but instead we're going to be tuning everything down a whole step. So that means that your E string is going to be a D, your A string is going to be a G, your D string is going to go down to C, and vice versa. So everything is going to be tuned down a whole step. Now, just another side note, right here I'm playing my Schecter Hellraiser CS8, which is an 8-string guitar. And the only reason that I'm doing that, well, there's two. The two reasons that I'm playing this 8-string are one, timbre, in terms of its timbre quality, it fit the song better than the other guitars that I have in my setup, in my rig. As well as it's also the guitar that I'm most comfortable on, surprisingly enough. And the second reason is that, well, 8 strings are just cooler than 6 strings. Like, let's be real here, come on. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. So, the first lick that we're going to be learning is going to be the intro and the chorus riff. So, it'll act as the intro riff and all the choruses throughout the song. You're going to be starting down here at the 7th fret, and you're going to be alternating between your A string, which is of course now a G, but you're going to be alternating from your A string with open chugs, and then a couple power chords down on the 7th fret and the 5th fret, as well as an inverted power chord, and then there's going to be a little riff that goes in between, and then it's going to loop. So slowly, it sounds like this. Alright, so next we have this cool little interlude riff that happens in between choruses and verses. You're going to be starting in the same spot and using those same chords down on the 7th and 5th fret with a slightly different pattern, and then there's one lick that appears once in the song only during the intro phase of this chorus intro interlude riff, and it's where Mick Mars will hit these crazy little harmonics in this little run, and it's super crazy, it's super insane. It takes a lot of practice to get down, and slowly it sounds like this. Now, again, it's worth mentioning that that riff only happens once. So when the interlude comes back later in the song, don't play the harmonic riff. You know, use your ear and make sure you know where to play it and where not to play it. But you're going to be going just with those chords in the later interlude portions of the song, as opposed to playing that crazy little harmonic riff. Now, following this interlude, we have this kind of little pre-verse section where you're going to be hitting chords down on the 1st fret on your lowest string, and then on the 3rd fret of your 2nd lowest string, which is usually your A string, but it's of course now a G. And from there, you also have this really cool harmonic section again, but it's different. So we're getting back into pinch harmonics, and it's just so creative up here, where Mick Mars will actually chug on the open A string, which is now your G, and he'll start by going down from the farthest pickup, and then he'll open it up by going from the closest pickup up to the farthest pickup. So slowly, it sounds like this. All right, Now we're going to get into the verse. So for the verse, we're going to chug along the open A string, which is now your G, before hitting a power chord on the 3rd fret of the lowest string. You're going to chug there for a little while, and then you're going to come back up, going up a string again, to the 7th fret for a power chord, chugging, 8th fret, power chord, chugging, and then 10th fret, power chord, chugging, before falling back down to the 1st fret and 3rd fret for that riff that brought us into the verse. So slowly, it sounds like this. Now, once it repeats once through, there is one more slight variation to the verse before it breaks into the chorus, where when you're chugging on this 10th fret power chord, you're going to hit the 5th, being the note that you're holding down with your 3rd finger, and you're going to slide up to a power chord right after that, just a couple frets up, and slowly that part sounds like this. All right, so we're almost done the entire song, as a lot of those parts that I've already covered just repeat themselves throughout the song's entirety. Now, we're going to go into the solo, which is absolutely wild. There's some blazing fast licks in there that you're really going to have to practice and get your chops down to get, going really fast and really smooth, and to be able to play it beautifully the way that Mick does. So the first section of the solo, you're going to be starting down on the 9th and 10th fret, and from there you're going to go down to the 7th and 8th fret, and slowly the first section of the solo sounds like this. Now for the middle or second section of the solo, the second third of the solo, if you will. So this is where things get really, really crazy. Mick Mars just goes absolutely nuts on this part. And you're going to be starting up on the 20th fret with your 3rd finger and 2nd finger on the B string, which is now an A. And you're going to be having your 1st finger on your highest E string, which is, of course, now a D. And you're going to be doing this cool pentatonic riff that goes into this blazing fast pentatonic run, which will lead into the 3rd section of the solo. So slowly, it sounds like this. Awesome. Okay, so now we have the 3rd section of the solo, which is very similar to the first section of the solo that we covered. Nothing too crazy. It's more melodic, using harmonic minor again, and there's no like blazing riffs or crazy fast things that you have to play. You're going to be starting up on your D string, which is of course now a C, on the 13th and 14th fret, and you're going to be walking your way up to the 12th, 13th, and 15th fret on your highest string, which is usually E, but of course is now F. D, and slowly it sounds like this. All right, now the last variation on the last chorus that acts as the end of the song, or the outro, if you will. You're simply just going to play that chord on your D string, which of course is now a C, on the 5th fret, and then you're going to fall down and play the open power chord from the A string, being the open string, which is now your G, and then holding down the 2nd fret of your D string, which is now C, and that's the final power chord of the song. All right, awesome. That's Mötley Crüe's Take Me to the Top. I hope you enjoyed learning it with me, and be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed this video, as I'll be here every week and we upload content on the daily here at Be on the Beat, as well as if you want to check out my Instagram to see what else I'm doing, as well as get live updates for when these videos go live. It's going to be linked in the description. So until next time, peace.